This is a quick analysis of the fight. The fight of the heavyweights, Anthony Joshua and Joseph Parker,
Leave it.
in an attempt to bring back the greatest of boxing, the heavyweight division. So let's see what we got here. Let's start with round one
But
and see what we got here.
turn off the hallway light, Idris.
All right. I like that. Joshua starting off with a good jab.
Turn back the light.
And also, Mr. Parker is starting off with a good jab. I like that for these guys to start off fundamentally. Um, it looks like Joshua got his hands up. That's smart. Joseph got his hands a little lower, but seems to be a little more relaxed, which was expected for him to be a little bit relaxed. Um, see. Okay, I see nobody really applying pressure. Um, Joshua is not even, taking any chances with his jab. Even when he jabs, he doesn't go forward much. Yeah, I can't hear. I mean, uh, all right. So they're both being very selective with their punches and being very patient and testing each other out in this first round. I can't blame nobody for that. I can respect Joshua for that. Um, okay. We saw Parker freeze a little bit on the ropes, and Joshua took advantage of that with a right hand, but once again, he didn't put too much pressure on it. He got in and he got out. Okay. So Joshua's fundamentals are paying off. That jab is landing and it's knocking Parker off balance a little bit there.
Good night.
Back to the jab. I like that. He starts with the jab and he finishes with the jab. Even though he is robotic, kind of stiff, but his timing isn't bad. He's able to really move off of that timing, get in and get out. To the second round. And what we got? All right, now Joseph Corner, Joseph Corner must have told him to try to go in a little bit more with your punches. Be a little bit more aggressive. And Joshua is playing the boxer like expected because he's the smaller guy and he's pretty relaxed. I would think he'd be a little more primer in boxing. Go. Go. Okay. Okay, so they're both taking a breather in this round. Not applying any pressure, not a lot of energy moving. Um, Starting off to be a little boring this round because we can't figure out what are they doing. It's just They tested each other out the first round. Second round, Joshua tried to apply a little bit, and Parker started boxing more. But now they just kind of like sitting there. Nobody's doing nothing.
Go pee. Idris, turn on the light for Rayanne to go to the bathroom. You gotta pee. Turn the lights on so you see.
Okay. All right, that was a round needed to be over. Okay, so we see nothing. We're still not seeing nothing. Um, 3 rounds down, and the fight is pretty much both guys respecting each other a lot. And I don't see a real dominance anywhere. I don't see Joseph. I don't see Joseph being a lot bigger and stronger, taking control and pushing. I don't see that happening. It looks like Joshua is just slick enough to be right there with him and not get hit much. So I see him boxing more nicely. I see him boxing pretty well in this fight. Um, it seems like Joshua want to make this a long night and just outpoint him. That's what it looks like thus far. Um, Joseph. I see Joseph outpointing Joshua. I don't see Joshua really aggressive enough. And it's like the fourth round, third or fourth round. And I don't see him um, doing that. See, he get busy for a minute, but it's like he didn't train to go full steam for 12 rounds. It looks like Joshua trained to try to take this guy out efficiently as possible without really turning this into a real condition situation. Maybe the fights before this, he had a condition problem in the later rounds. So it looks like he's trying to preserve a little better and land more effective punches. When he do hit him, he's trying to hurt him instead of going all out. And that's okay if you can land those punches, but you can't be swinging for the fences missing, because that even though you don't waste a lot of energy, you're going to waste a lot of energy when you miss, more so than just putting pressure on somebody. If you're going to be missing those times where you get the shot out, you gotta land them punches, or you might as well just go all out from the beginning to the end, because you're not conserving when you missing them punches. You're actually losing more energy. Okay, and now Joshua is getting outboxed here. He's getting countered, and he's not putting that constant pressure on him. It's like he want to take him into the later rounds, worrying about condition, because he's not really being hurt by Joshua. Joseph. He's not really being hurt by Joseph, and he's not really in grave danger, and he's not even being attacked by Parker. He's actually being outboxed by Parker, but not Parker is not really aggressive. So Joshua has no reason to be waiting for one, other than if he's worried about his condition or something. And Joshua um, is not looking that great because he's hesitating, waiting, maybe because of condition. And when he does fire off, he's firing very hard and he's missing a great amount of them. His landing percentage is not that great. And that makes him look bad too. Um, but he's very confident. He's not scared. It's just he's making decisions that make him look bad, make him look unsure about himself, and um, you know, overrated. Not a killer like his record tells you. All these knockouts he got, he's not looking like George Foreman. That's what's so disheartening about today's fighters. They're making more money than Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard, George Foreman, all of them together. But they're not as thorough, not as uh, not as fundamentally sound, not even as an athletic. But these guys are getting serious money, or their promotional team is. Somebody is. So here we go. Another round of the same thing, pretty much. Joseph outboxing Joshua. However, um, he, he's not aggressive enough to deter Joshua from coming forward. And Joshua's coming forward, boring, slowly, and being counterpunched, missing shots. And when he does go off, he comes very hard, but he misses a lot of shots, a great percentage. And um, you know, this is a boring fight because Joshua should be landing more shots when he going forward. He should be more. Uh, when you're coming forward, them pressure shots, you should be coming and landing a lot of those power shots when you finally get in. And your defense should be sharper while you're going in. Just because you're going forward don't mean you can't make people miss. And Joseph Parker, with the style he's using, boxing, hitting and missing, making a miss and hitting, he should be a tad bit more circles. He should be doing more circles, a little bit active with more circles. He's moving around a little bit. He got about a 15-degree spin, but he need like a 45-degree spin. See, he moves around a little and just a little consistently, just a little, but he needs to get around. He needs to get around and land those shots, a lot of them. See that exchange right there? That tells you the whole fight. You know, Joshua's winning on points, but he's not hurting Joseph, and he's not Joseph winning on points, but he's not hurting Joshua, and he's not uh, scaring Joshua, and he's not making Joshua um, fight. And Joshua not fighting for some unknown reason. Maybe he don't want to waste his energy in the later rounds because he's so pumped up with all those muscles. It takes a lot of energy to swing for 12 rounds with all those muscles. Um, and they're not natural muscles because he's not naturally strong. He's not, Mike Tyson is half his size, but Mike Tyson got more pop in his punches, more velocity, and more power because, muscles don't equal punching power. But when you got somebody who can punch, Joshua can punch, but his muscles exceed his punching power. He can punch, but his muscles are bigger than his punching power. So therefore, he's going to use a lot of energy, getting off minimum power when he could get more power if he had less muscle and more velocity. But he has more muscle, more strength, but less snap in those punches. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. This just isn't a real complicated and exciting fight. So I'm just giving it to you like it is. But it's the same old thing each round. Joshua's boxing really good. He's moving and landing, but it's not um, enough. He's not landing enough. And Joshua is going forward, but not enough to be effective. He's just going forward, throwing bombs, missing a lot of them, preserving his big muscle energy, and he's not looking all that great. Okay, another round down. Okay, now Parker is sticking to his game plan, moving his head, slick boxing on the outside, paying Joshua back, which was a good plan because Joshua is really not putting pressure to make him change his plan. Joshua is not putting pressure enough to make Joseph Parker turn into a brawler. He's just comfortably stepping back, half steps around and countering, but it's still like a equal fight because Joshua is not throwing enough. He's not staying in enough, and he's not circling enough, and his hands are too low. He's not defend. His defense is garbage, and Joshua is definitely not doing enough. He looks tired. He looked like he has no plans of pushing this fight. Um, let's move on. Okay. Just when you think Joshua will come out in the next round and put some pressure, um, He's missing shots and he's still staying right there. He's not going too far in and he's not going too far out. He's just a big planet. And Joshua is trying to do circles around him, but not enough. So a good boxer would give Joshua very, very big problems in there. Joshua is just really, really too big for boxing. He's uh, very successful because he has not fought a real energizer bunny. He fights somebody with a lot of energy who can move around, skinny legs. He'll have a hard time hitting him because Joshua's really, really too big for an ideal boxer. That's like a gymnastic being just too big, too tall, too stiff, just big. Some sports you need to be able to do certain moves. You need to be smaller, and I hate to be negative, but this is what we're given to watch. We got to be honest. Okay, let's go forward a little bit. Okay. Oh, we're coming to the end of the fight. So this is the last round. And let's see if Joshua gives us something. Now he has no reason not to go forward this round because there's no more reason to have condition. This is the last round. It's like the third round in an amateur fight. Just let it go. Let it go. Okay. Parker still sticking to what he's doing, trying to box. He's making a miss too, but the crazy thing about it is Joshua is landing shots. But if he was going forward and putting his weight behind him and really trying to land that second and third punch to the body and the head to the body, he would really hurt this guy and slow him down. But we see from this fight, Joshua is not a body puncher. He's not a body puncher and he's way too big to be, ooh, nice shots. So Joseph Parker, um, is doing that slick stuff with his head movement. But in the later rounds, he's moving slower. And that gave Joshua, who is not intimidated at all by Parker. Only thing Joshua's intimidated by is being too tired at the end of the day. So he's not really going in. He's not scared at all, and he's not really being outboxed that bad to be alarmed. If Joshua would just go forward and push hard and keep going forward and putting pressure on him and cutting the ring off instead of following him around in the ring and cut the ring off, he could crush this guy, Joseph Parker. But for some strange reason, Joshua is here with these big old muscles and he can't really do what he needs to do. Or he's not doing it. Either he's not doing it or he can't do it. I don't know. But all we see him doing is uh trying to make this a knockout fight, but he's trying to do it way too easy. He literally is waiting for this guy to just stop and take punches by him. I mean, Joshua ain't had no backup plan at all in this fight. No defensive plan. He didn't swing, make a miss, and pay him back. All he did is slowly get in and try to knock this guy out, like if he was just going to lay down. Well, that's it, man. Come check me out. YouTube, Defense First. That's Smart Wedge in the house. Much love. Peace.